Hiya, thanks to you for joining me. My name's Pete and I'm going to do some cooking, done some other stuff as well. This is going to be a nice, easy, quick, cheap dinner. Spicy corned beef cottage pie. So cheers. Okay, before I start, let's show you what we're going to put in this. I prepared beforehand some beautiful mashed potato. I don't think you really need to know how to make mashed potato. If you don't do that, you probably shouldn't be watching this video. Enough there, about a couple of pounds potatoes, kilogram potatoes. I don't salt them personally because the salt comes in the butter and milk. Mash them up, ready to go, put them on top. Okay, other stuff for the base of the pie. I'm doing 2 pies, that sort of size. You could do one big one, should feed 4 people. Some vegetables, those should do 2 each. So, a couple of onions peeled. On here we're going to add some garlic paste, chili flakes. Yep, doesn't look great, does it? Tomato puree, a couple of teaspoons of that, a couple of bunches of coriander, olive oil, black pepper, and the thing that everyone loves, tin tomatoes. So, okay, we're going to start off by getting the onions on. So I'm going to put the pan on. Start off with over here. Also, while you're watching this, if you want to know about a dessert, then later on today I'm going to be posting a dessert of a very easy, different bread and butter pudding. That I say easy, it's quick, but if you want to leave it for half an hour as well. So if you come back and you search for Pete's easy bread and butter pudding, hopefully that'll be on there later as well. But let's get on with these. So let's get the onions in. Quite a strong heat. We want to sweat them on their own, and don't want to add the garlic yet because it'll burn the garlic, to be honest with you. You just want to get these nice and soft and make them sweeter. Obviously, for me, I've prepared everything, so it's going to be a bit quicker than possibly could be. So let's go over the heat, bit of oil in there, and next we're going to add the garlic, the corned beef, the chili flakes, garlic paste, about a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons of tomato puree, and then we're going to add the tomatoes and the herbs. So you can hear them bubbling away in the background. Let's give it a stir. Make sure there's plenty of oil. They do like it, they absorb it. You don't need too much after this point, because once you put the corned beef in, it's a very fatty corned beef. Although I have recently, the one I'm going to use is actually a reduced fat one, so I didn't realise there was that. Having said that, it's quite a high fat content. Doesn't mean it's unhealthy. We all need fats to a certain degree. It just means you don't have to add much more. Okay. Same with it. The potatoes I mentioned earlier. No point in putting salt in them. I know everyone else says you should, but if there's salt in the butter, well, we're just doing it for the sake of. And I can tell you, they taste fantastic. And we're going to put them in the oven later to crisp them up on top of this. So these are sweating away quite nicely. And what we're going to add now, corned beef. I've chopped it into chunks just purely because it's going to mush down. It's going to get really, really soft. You might think, crikey, it is actually quite expensive. A tin of this size I got for £2. Obviously less than mince, but can be about £2.50. But shop around, there's usually an offer on it. It's good stuff, and it works well. It's a different sort of food. So these are starting to soften down nicely. We don't want them to brown. We don't want them to burn. We just want to make sure that we're softening them a little bit. So we've got them on quite an intense heat. Keep moving them around. You can smell the sweetness coming off them. And now we're going to add the corned beef in gradually. So we're going to add that in little by little here. Mush it around, keep it moving. Okay. You can see there's a little bit of residue fat and that jelly on the side. Don't worry, it'll all go in, you won't notice. And it's a really different way of getting your food cupboard stuff used. Because realistically, we're all looking after ourselves, turning out a little bit. And we're all trying to be careful with the money. And often I think this is one of these sort of stable cupboard ingredients that we have. And already, I'll be with you in a second, I'll show you in a second, this is starting to mush down. So I could bring that over and show you. You can see now it's starting to soften already, and it's going a little bit pasty-ish. So that's a really, really good start. So let's just mix that in. Let's get all these other ingredients. We're not putting the coriander in yet, okay? We're going to put in the garlic, because the heat's gone down, okay? It's not going to burn it. We're going to put in chili, totally optional. I like a nice spicy kick to mine. My wife's vegetarian, so she won't eat it anyway, but she's not a great fan of the spicy stuff. Tomato puree. Okay, a couple of teaspoons. Get that in. And the garlic puree, just to add a little bit more intense garlic flavour. So let's just get that all mashed up. There we go, it's all going in absolutely lovely. This is a really, really quick dish to do. Okay, you get that in there nice and easy. Okay, I'll show you the sort of pastiness of it now. Now, you can actually just put it in like that and put the potato on top if you want. Personally, I like the tomato feel, so I'm going to put the tomatoes in now. That gives it a little bit extra juiciness. Don't forget to recycle the tin. Okay, just gives it a bit more flavour, a bit more body. And again, we've all got it in the cupboard and it all sort of helps to it as well. And then we've got a nice sort of mince-meaty flavour. And then we can add this to really get this flavour with the coriander in there. If you've got parsley, put parsley in. Just nice to add a herb, something different, a bit extra flavour in there as well. So, we'll mix all that in. Let it bubble away for a couple of minutes. Just to reduce down a little bit, not very much because you don't need to mess around. Okay, we're going to move that out of the way. Bit of black pepper. Again, it's really down to taste. You know, some people don't like pepper, some people do. I personally do. I love all the different types of pepper. I blame my mother for that one. And off we go. So, we're looking now at these two here. These are the two containers we're going to use. Put a little bit in the bottom when that's boiled down. Mashed potato on top. Use the fork to spike the mashed potato up so it goes crispy. I'll put the oven on 200, which is around about 7, gas mark 7. I think it's about sort of around about 320, 350, but check someone else. It's 200 degrees anyway here. And it'll go in for around about 20 minutes, but let's just get this off the stove and get it in here. Okay, see, it's nice and easy and quick. One last stir, off with the heat. See the consistency now. Get ourselves a spoon. Even amounts into each one. As I say, each of these will do 2 people quite easily, especially if you put some vegetables on the side. You know, so I'm sure all children love fresh vegetables, or mine do anyway. Let's get that in there. It's got a nice solid base. So that would be a tin of corned beef, tin of tomatoes. We've got some garlic paste, a couple of cloves of garlic, just a teaspoon of garlic paste, a couple of teaspoons of tomato puree, and what else have we put in there? A bit of coriander, some onion, chilli flakes to taste, black pepper. That's taken what, 5 minutes. We're going to put the mashed potato on top. Let's get a couple of spoons out. See, already prepared, 15 minutes, lots, lashings and lashings of butter, lashings and lashings of milk. Get it nice and soft all over the top here. Let's get it round. I'll show you in a second. 2 pounds of potatoes I use, that's a kilogram in European or whatever they call it these days. To be honest, you can't have enough mashed potato. And it's a good way of getting people to eat potatoes, especially children, without them sort of knowing, if that makes sense, because they see it as a topping and not as a separate vegetable on the plate. And sometimes you need to con them. And if that works, then that's all that matters. Now you can put a flake cheese on top if you want. I'm not a cheese topping on mashed potato sort of guy. I like it made in the mash. But realistically, that's your own call. You can, if you want, put a little bit of onion or spring onion in the potato, make it sort of slightly more Irish, as they would do. Something like garlic in it. You could use cream if you wanted, if it was a big, sort of really want it creamy instead of the milk. Again, trying a little bit to be healthy. We're going to use the cream in the bread and butter pudding later on, and but even I'm going to go for the sort of half fat one, trying to be good, trying to be careful. Just spilling this around here, fitting the top of these 2 bowls. As I say, the potatoes were £1.20, the corned beef was £1.99, tin of tomatoes 43p. Stuff from your cupboard, you know what, you're probably not far off. You're well under £5, you're probably under £4.50, and you've got two scrumptious dinners. That's it, it's going in for 20 minutes. See you in a bit. You'll see the video in a second when I bring it out, and it'll be all nice and crispy and brown. As I say, let's just remember, let's just fork the potatoes so you get nice little spikes in it. And this is something that the children can do. They enjoy doing it, they feel part of it. I'm actually going to cook them both for 20-25 minutes, 200 degrees, and I'm going to save one for another day. They will freeze, they'll freeze for around about a month. Don't make it any longer than that. Make sure you get it out for about 8 hours before to unfreeze it. So I'm going to pop these in the oven. I'll see you in a bit. Cheers, bye.